नमस्कार. गुड डे व्ह्युअर्स. राष्ट्रसंत तुकडोजी महाराज नागपूर विद्यापीठाच्या पदव्युत्तर महाराष्ट्रशास्त्र विभागातर्फे आयोजित या समुपदेशनाच्या कार्यशाळेत उपस्थित असलेल्या सर्वांचे मनपूर्वक स्वागत. सर्वांना माझा सादर प्रणाम. मी डॉक्टर खुबाळकर आणि आजच्या या सत्राचा विषय आहे पॉझिटिव्ह सायकोलॉजी अँड सम रिलॅक्सेशन टेक्निक्स. त्यामुळे या सत्राचं मी 2 भागात विभाजन केलेलं आहे. पहिल्या सत्रात आपण पॉझिटिव्ह सायकोलॉजी किंवा याला आपण सकारात्मक मानसशास्त्र म्हणतो त्यातील काही संकल्पना, काही इंटरव्हेन्शन स्ट्रॅटेजीज, मेथड्स, पद्धतीचा आपण थोडक्यात आढावा घेणार आहोत आणि दुसऱ्या भागात काही शिथिलीकरण तंत्रांचा आपण सराव करणार आहोत. अर्थात शिथिलीकरण तंत्रांचा सराव करताना किंवा प्रॅक्टिस सेशन्स घेताना मी सर्व उपस्थित असलेल्या किंवा या कार्यक्रमाशी जुळलेल्या परोक्ष किंवा अपरोक्ष पद्धतीने जुळलेल्या सर्व उपस्थितांना मी अशी विनंती करेन किंवा विनंती करते की त्यांनी आपल्या आपल्या ठिकाणी जिथे ते आहेत तिथे या सराव सेशन्सचा किंवा सराव सत्राचा प्रत्यक्ष उपयोग करावा किंवा तो करून बघावा व त्याचा अनुभव घ्यावा. सध्याच्या घडीला आज आपल्याला असं लक्षात येतं, कुठेतरी असं सारखं जाणवतं अधूनमधून होणाऱ्या या लॉकडाऊनच्या काळात प्रत्येकाच्या मनात काहीशी अस्थिरता, काहीशी अस्वस्थता, थोडं वैफल्य, थोडी निराशा, थोडी चिडचिड, थोडी त्रस्तता आहे. कुठेतरी असं आपल्याला वाटतं की काहीतरी बदल ह्या सगळ्यात घडून यायला हवा. आणि जसं मानसशास्त्र म्हणतो, जेव्हा बदलाची गरज असते, परिवर्तनाची आवश्यकता असते, तेव्हा पहिली जी काही गोष्ट असते ज्यात बदल घडून यावा असं वाटतं किंवा घडून यायला हवा असतो, तो स्वतःच घडून यावा असं म्हटलेलं. आणि मला असं वाटतं की याच दृष्टीने आजच्या या कार्यक्रमाचं आयोजन करण्यात आलं असावं आणि किंबहुना करण्यात आलं आहे किंवा असावं. अर्थातच या आयोजनासाठी नागपूर विद्यापीठाच्या मानसशास्त्र विभागाचं अभिनंदन करायला हवं. तो विभाग निश्चितच अभिनंदनीय आहे. Let us come to the topic, positive psychology and some relaxation techniques. As I have said, we are dealing with some important concepts in positive psychology first, and then we shall be taking cognizance of some short relaxation methods. On the background of Corona pandemic-stricken period worldwide, the need of drastic alteration of our living patterns, living style has become a need of the hour. It seems the nature wants us not only to change our certain patterns or behaviors, but perhaps she demands a dramatic transformation of our nature, a total nature of the human being. A complete transformation of our living style appears to be mandatory today. Perhaps it seems the nature is asking to change the way we talk. The nature is asking to change the way we see, the way we think, the way we perceive the things and people. Perhaps the nature is asking to change the way we act, the way we react, the way we relate with other people, the way we relate with people in the society, small or large, or even global community. The nature is asking to change ourselves, our behaviors, the way we relate with our environment, the way we relate with the nature, Nisarga itself. So, what we can perceive that complete overhauling of our nature, of our existential patterns of behavior is required. ज्याला आपण संपूर्ण स्वभाव परिवर्तन म्हणतो तसं काहीतरी इथे अपेक्षित आहे असं लक्षात येतं. In the past few decades, we have seen a significant shift in emphasis of our thinking related to health. The disease model of health is going in the background and the good life model or the positive model of health is coming up. We have started talking more about positivity and more about immunity rather than negativity and or disease or illnesses. The question may arise in your mind or in some minds or in some minds among many areas of psychology, why positive psychology has been a part of this workshop or seminar. The answer, the nature and scope of positive psychology itself will answer this question. Because positive psychology, some concepts, very important concepts, you will find help us understand our mental health as well as general health in a better way so that we may be able to facilitate the betterment of others. Positive psychology perfectly catches this point of positivity in the person as well as in the community, in the society. It can be said that positive psychology has significantly contributed to this shift from negative model of thinking to positive model of thinking and positive model of health. Or you can say the positive model of human functioning. Rather, it emphasizes on positivity or positive model of human functioning. So, one road to influence various positive aspects of human is by way of understanding some important concepts and techniques that are prominently used by positive psychology or positive psychologists. Positive psychology, as we see, is more concerned about concepts like happiness, well-being, quality of life, containment, meaningful life, meaningfulness of life, fulfilling life. It talks about and studies about good life, ज्याला आपण eudaimonia म्हणतो. Basically, eudaimonia is a Greek word and commonly translated as happiness or well-being. Of course, however, blessedness also has been proposed as alternative translation of this word. Positive psychology certainly emphasizes on good life, and therefore we find this word daimonia has become trendy in these days. When we look at the depictions by positive psychologists, we find that positive psychologists do not give strict, limited definition or definitions of good life. but agree that in order to experience good life, one must live happy, engaged, purposeful, and meaningful life. Before examining some important positive psychology techniques and concepts, it would not be inappropriate to take note of some historical account of positive psychology movement. Of course, briefly, I should be taking the trace of positive psychology in the literature as well as in the practice. We find that in 1998, Martin Seligman, as the president of American Psychological Association, first chose his term positive psychology as a theme of the association for his presidential term. The first international conference on positive psychology was held in 2002. The course at Harvard University on positive psychology was started around 2006 and made this positive psychology and positive psychology concepts more popular worldwide. The first World Congress on positive psychology was held in 2009 at Pennsylvania, and thus we see the positive psychology or the impact of positive psychology came on the scene quite recently, a few decades back only. But of course, the traces we can find even earlier also. The term positive psychology dates back to 1954. In fact, Abraham Maslow's first edition of the book, Motivation and Personality, was published with a final chapter titled Towards Positive Psychology. So this we can trace the influences on positive psychology from humanistic psychologists like Abraham Maslow, Carl Rogers, Erich Fromm. All these people have talked even before 1998 or 2-3 decades back earlier about the concepts like self-actualization, good life, better life, superior life, like that, by these humanistic people. Concepts dealt with by positive psychology are not new basically to us as Indians. In fact, for Indians, the better life, superior life, these concepts have been present in our religion and philosophy, I think, since thousands of years, but better not to talk on that at this juncture. Anyway, if you are asked, what do you want from your life? You may answer in one word, happiness. Happiness. And where does this happiness come from? Happiness comes from, according to positive psychologists, and will lead to well-lived life, a fulfilling life. Positive psychologists and positive psychology takes cognizance of those factors that lead to fulfilling life. Positive psychologists are more concerned about concepts like happiness, well-being, quality of life, contentment, and meaningful life. They also talk about positive emotions, positive traits. They also take cognizance of negative emotions. Say, for example, positive emotions like joy, interest, contentment, love. They talk about the negative emotions that we know: anxiety, sadness, anger, and despair. The positive traits about which positive psychology talks about or talks of: capacity for love and more, courage, compassion, resilience, creativity, curiosity, integrity, self knowledge, moderation, self control, and wisdom. And they feel that these things or these aspects of human functioning can be trained or altered by using certain techniques. So, positive psychologists suggest and employ various methods and techniques to achieve this alteration and ultimately to achieve the so called good life.